welcome back everyone to the grand finals, the grand finale here of the KSL Korean StarCraft League week number 39, the PvP edition of KSL. Again, the semis was pure Protoss, and now we are here to determine who has the best PvP amongst our Protoss players. I'm ready for it. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Equilibrium, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing herO Esports. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top left, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. Just Sultan Classic 2-1. It is herO. NightMare versus herO. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take this. Coming into this, herO is going to be the favored. He's the more well-rounded player overall. That is true, but it's a PvP. Upsets have happened before. They can happen again. There is a chance, of course, that NightMare is able to turn the tables here on herO and to come out victorious instead. We'll see. We shall see. Again, herO just had a very close series against Classic, went all the way to the ace match, and even in Game 3, there were moments for both herO and Classic where they were both had certain advantages. They could both take the game. It was a very close best of 3 in the end. But where will this take us as we load into Equilibrium for the first time? Predictions of the good. Beautiful. Ooh. As for the time being, probes are going to be coming in, getting a scout on each other. It is going to be a double gate opener from herO, double gate from NightMare as well. Second pylon have been thrown down in each player's respective main bases, which means no proxies. No proxies initially in Game 1. Everything is looking normal. My eyes are really on the gold base locations. I'm curious if either one of our players try to rush into the gold early on as a natural or as a third base. I am curious where this takes us, as we have herO going double Stalker. Meanwhile, NightMare is going to be going double Adept. So again, NightMare is looking for some economic damage. herO looking to be a little bit more assertive on the map, with just a better army overall. His goal here is to try to catch these Adepts in the middle of the map. And from NightMare, it's going to be to try to bypass the Stalkers of herO. And now herO going for a pylon, does get eyes on the first 2 units. herO is aware of the Adepts moving out across the map, and he's aware that he has to try to catch them. Behind this, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of herO before expansion. We're going for the Oracles. Meanwhile, NightMare is checking the gold, wants to make sure that herO wasn't sneaking into it. Very important scout. Very important for NightMare to keep track of. As likewise, Adepts do move out as well. And NightMare going for, that is a third gateway and a robo. This is looking like a one base all in. Oh my god. NightMare going to be doubling down here. Adepts still dancing with the units here of herO. So far so good. Good control out of NightMare as well. Barely does shade away. At the same time, NightMare catches a Stalker, forcing a recall. herO is expanding. NightMare is not. NightMare is committed, and herO is in the dark. This is the scary thing at the moment. herO is still lacking scouting information. He is heavily reliant on this Oracle. This Oracle, on the one hand, yes, it can deal economic damage, that is true, but we need to get a scout on what the hell's going on and how committed NightMare is. Stalkers are in position. Adepts are being forced back. Shield batteries finishing up. We move out at the wrong time. The Oracle dives in, and we do get eyes on the robo. We do not get taken out. Stalker's now repositioning, but the Stalker will make it into that dead space in the top right hand corner of the map. NightMare's pushing. He is now moving out, reinforcing with more Stalkers. His goal is to break the natural or the main. And herO has a shield battery, threw down a defensive robo. Immortal production has already commenced for herO. And here comes the stasis. NightMare does react in time. 2 workers get stasis in the end. One more than what is the norm. Some nice. Oh no! Get back to mining! Oh, a little bit of miscontrol there out of NightMare. He doesn't actually go back to mining. Another stage trap going to be going off. And he does catch all the probes. Big connection in the main base. Meanwhile, NightMare doesn't care. He's pushing. He's focusing on his attack. Forcing his way into the main as well. Getting a bit of damage done on that Immortal. But we're bleeding out too much. And too many Stalkers are going down. And NightMare, he's losing momentum. Running out of steam. Down to a handful of Stalkers. Only 3 left, and that is not enough. That is not enough to break anything here. As hero's going to be able to push down to the low ground, shut this down as well. The Prism has arrived overcharged on top of this. And GG gets called. The all-in has failed, and herO will take game number 1. Ooh, GG. Again, NightMare was so unfortunate that he moved out of position at the wrong time where the Oracle came into the main, was able to cripple the economy, was able to deny any additional warp-ins of NightMare as well, just because his economy was so disrupted. Meanwhile, he was all in anyway, and he just had to try to force his way up that ramp. Alas, wasn't able to get on top of the Immortal. The Immortal survived. Good control out of herO. Really nice control out of herO overall, to be able to harass across the map and defend back at home. GG. GG, well played. herO does take a lead in the series, but it was only game 1. And it's the best of 5. 5 games. Potentially we can go all 5 games here. Plenty of games left. Let's go. Let us go. Ooh, meanwhile, just quickly checking the calendar as well. How much time do I have to do I sleep? Do I nap? Do I try to nap after this? We have there's no time. We have another cast in 3 hours. I thought it was a little bit later. 3 hours time. More StarCraft. We'll get into that once we wrap up with this series, but here we go. We're here in the midst of the grand finals, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Solaris, we have our South Korean Protoss, the blue Protoss representing Match Arena Esports. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. Let's go. Once again, 2 gate openers from both herO and NightMare. Probes are moving out, almost immediately to scout. Try to get a read on each other. The probes will pass here in the center of the map. Huh. Ah. No boops, unfortunately. No head boop. They do pass by each other in the night. And we'll see if we commit to any kind of proxy play here. Again, you don't have to proxy to go all in. As we saw in that last game, NightMare just went for a straight up 3-gate robo on 1 base. No proxies. Committed. Unfortunately, he was scattered. Unfortunately, herO was able to react and respond in time with his own defensive Immortal. We'll see if NightMare can bring it back, can fight back in this series. I want to believe he can. Do want to believe. But now, probes being as annoying as possible. Second pylons thrown down. No proxies. No proxy pylons here from either player. Not yet. Not yet in this best of 5. So we are just scouring the map here, just dipping in between the bases. We have our first units of choice. It's going to be double Stalker from herO. NightMare going double Adept. Okay, so once again, a pretty similar dynamic where NightMare wants to be aggressive early on. And we'll see if he can bypass the Stalkers this time. Last time, herO was able to engage, was able to slow this and even force it back. Once again, herO being very active with this probe. The goal of this probe at the moment is to get a scout on the first 2 units. There's that pylon. Probe will get the hell out of there, and this pylon will get eyes on those 2 Adepts. So a good scout here from herO. As hero's moving out with his Stalkers, hoping to meet those Adepts. And he does end up catching the probe. Ignores the Adepts and just sends it, Bobby. The Adepts will commit, but we do have a full wall being set up. Oh, Probe comes in, but we have Stalkers in position, and we to barely throw down that shield battery. At the same time, across the map, herO tries to push in, is denied. We're going for a one-base all-in again from NightMare. Is going 3 gateways with the Robo, just like the previous game. Meanwhile, herO is doing the same. We are mirroring each other. Both players committing to one-base all-ins. Things are about to get a little bit rowdy. Things are about to get a little bit odd. And it's all going to come down to the control and preserving units. Speaking of, one adept goes down. Second adept is going to be going down as well. So some brutal losses here for NightMare. Has been bleeding out a little bit more than his opponent. And every unit counts here, especially in a mirror matchup. Especially when both players are doing the same thing. As I say that, herO is going to be the first to expand, but it looks like NightMare is going to be expanding as well. Okay. Adepts are shading towards the south, going for an extra warp in instead. Never mind. So I assumed for a moment that NightMare was going to be taking expansion, but instead we did go for an extra warp in. herO taking a more defensive position back at home. Oh my god. I very rarely get to hear Caster Park in game, but I'm all for it. Let's go. Pale. And here we go. NightMare is expanding. A much later expansion though, as he has decided to kind of back off from his opponent. Now both players are building up some hefty immortal counts, but neither player wants to be the aggressor. It looks like both player was expecting the opposing player to push into them. Prism is moving out. For NightMare. His goal here to lift up these adepts to get into the mineral line. Meanwhile, herO is in position in his main, ready for whatever comes his way. Observer does confirm the timing of the Twilight Council. Didn't see the Robo, but the Twilight Council timing should be enough of a tell. herO, he should recognize that it's going to be the same build, or very similar at least. Prism slips into the main. But we do see herO in position, does push this back. And the question becomes, how hard do we commit? Because herO hasn't been making workers. Okay, there we go. We have 2 more probes on the way. I'm like, man, he's cutting workers. There we go. He's going for a drop across the map, getting into a later Twilight Council, later Blink. Meanwhile, Adepts, they do manage to slip into the main base. Oh my god. Don't get a worker though. Good control out of herO. Prism comes in. Oh my god! Prism comes in, but the Prism is gonna be zoned away. Oh my god. NightMare coming from behind. He wants to shut down that War Prism. He will get the Prism, but we'll lose a lot of Stalkers in the process, and we will recall the hell out of there. That was 1 War Prism for 5 Stalkers. Not a bad trade for herO, especially considering he keeps the Immortals alive. And now he's pushing. He's moving out, he's rebuilding that War Prism. He is keeping some Stalkers back at home, fully aware that there's a War Prism that can threaten him. But again, this is just such a tense moment here. herO, he's doubling down. Glaives, not Blink. Glaives is on the way. This confirms that herO wants to be as aggressive as possible. Glaive Adepts do a great job at tanking Immortal shots, so the goal here is for herO to mass a large amount of Adepts, to be able to shade, to be able to get on top and dive on top of these Immortals and focus them down. Coming in with a hallucinated Colossus? Okay. Decent force field, going to be able to dive on top of the Immortals. Good juggling though, we keep the Immortals alive, we do pull them back. Despite that, herO is going to be committing. He's going to try to break through. Oh, gets 1 Immortal in the end. The other getting very low. And it looks like we may not even need the Glaive Adepts because herO, he has broken the natural. Boys are being pulled. Every Immortal has fallen. It's just straight up Stalkers remaining here for NightMare, and it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and herO is able to take a 2-0 lead in the grand finals. GG. Oh, a solid push there out of herO. He was able to catch NightMare with his pants down, just barely. NightMare just wasn't ready for that. He had the War Prism, yes, but he was down in Immortal production. He had 2 Immortals against the 3 of his opponents, and he had Stalkers in his main. He didn't have everything together at his natural. He didn't see the move out. He was in the dark. In the dark as to what herO was up to. And with that, game 3. Oh boy, can NightMare fight back? Can he put a point on the board? We've seen it before. He has taken maps. But he's having a bit of a hard time here today. Bring it back, Poppy. Bring it back. Give us some more games. Give us some more PvP. It's going to be on NightMare. The pressure is on. Cyan beat Dark. Was it fake Dark? No, real Dark. It was real Dark. I mean, Cyan, he's beaten Dark before. He has, I say beaten Dark. He's taken maps before. And I think he's, no, sorry, I'm pretty sure he's actually beaten Dark. I think it was like a month ago. Let's see. I want to say it was in KSL as well. Or was it Kung Fu Cup? But it's happened before. Again, Cyan, for those that are maybe not familiar, he has been improving a lot this year. Cyan even qualified for IEM Katowice over Korean players. He's been looking really damn good. Really damn strong recently. And here we go. We're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Matcherino Esports. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss, the red Protoss player representing KranKy Gaming. It is herO. One game away from advancing on here, from becoming this week's KSL champion. Let's go. And yeah, I was double checking. It was KSL week 36, so 3 weeks ago. So yeah, around a month ago, where Cyan also went to the ace match against Dark. We were fortunate enough to cast that. I believe that was the same week where Cyan took down Oliveira. I think he 2-0'd Oliveira in that very same tournament. Let me just double check. Yep, he 2-1'd Oliveira in that same tournament. So yeah, Cyan, he's been popping up. He's been improving a lot. There's a big reason why Cyan was picked up by Mystery Gaming around a month ago as well. Cyan was on the Starving Camels for a long time, but did get a new team. And of course, in the midst of that new team, in the midst of taking down players like Oliveira and now Dark, again, he is going to be a part of IEM in the coming months. Is going to be there in Poland in that offline event. So really cool to see. Really cool to see a lot of the Chinese Protoss players pop off. Both Cyan and Firefly, the ex SLT boys, SSLT. They've been improving so much this year. It's been really cool to see. That's been really cool to see here. I mean, we almost had a Cyan versus herO finals. Like Cyan, he went all the way to the ace match, and I think it was like a 15-minute game against NightMare for the ace full game 3 as well. It has been really cool to see them just improve over time, improve over the past year of StarCraft. But now we're settling into potentially the final game of this finals. Again, I would hope to see our players get a little bit more out of each other, and I want to see a more back and forth. But every game so far, we've seen NightMare go for a variation of 3-gate robo. Every game so far without fail. As herO, this time he's going to be the first to throw down that 3rd gateway and that robo as well. Now, upon seeing this, I would usually say a 1-base all-in, but we saw that last game, we saw this opener eventually led into herO expanding, so I don't know how much I want to commit to that. I mean, this is a little bit earlier for herO, so this should be a 1-base all-in from our red Protoss, but we'll see, as NightMare is expanding. So NightMare is going to be the defender. For the first time this series, NightMare goes 2-gate into an expansion, and herO is looking to be in his face. Here we go. Yeah, Prism is on the way. Immortal's behind this. Adept's going to be threatening a shade, but we do not get into the main. Takes down one of those sentries. Not too bad. Gets the sentry, the other will survive. So we take down both Adepts. And here we go. herO is committed. He's gonna be rallying everything across the map. He of course has scattered the expansion. He's aware of the base. And there's that much more pressure on herO to get damage done. You can see behind this, herO does have a probe in position to expand. But more than anything, he needs to cripple the economy of NightMare. Otherwise, herO will be left behind. There we go. We get another wave of probes. He does pull back with that, his own worker. Probes. We get a wave of stalkers. He pulls back with that probe. We are committed. We're pushing in. Here we go. We have 9 stalkers to the 5 of his opponent. We have a good guardian shield as well. The prism does tank some of those shots. Overcharge his pop, but we can 2-shot these stalkers. We get 1, we get 2. We get a 3rd stalker as well, even through the overcharge. Oh, barely we don't get the last one though. And the Immortal has arrived. Now with the help of this Immortal, we should be able to hold on, but the overcharge is now on cooldown, and herO comes in with some more reinforcements. He goes right for the Immortal. And it's gonna go down. A 3rd volley brings down the Immortal. We can focus on the sentries as well. Good juggling here out of herO, keeping some of these stalkers alive. And a force field traps the units of NightMare, and it looks like herO, he has too much. He has broken the army, broken through. GG gets called. And herO will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's Korean StarCraft League champion. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god. A very aggressive PvP here. I mean, even in the semifinals as well. But herO looking dominant in these finals. NightMare did try his best. He was putting up a fight. Did try to be the aggressor himself in game 1 and in game 2 as well. But herO was able to keep up. herO was able to scout, confirm, or react beautifully. And yeah, herO with a dominant performance here in the finals. The semis was a little bit closer. Classic versus herO was very close. Went down to the wire. And even in game 3, Classic was winning, then herO was winning. Like it was much more of a back and forth. Here, a more dominant performance out of herO. Congratulations. You know, reason why herO is one of the best Protoss players in the world, and is a terrifying opponent regardless of who you are, regardless of if you're NightMare or Classic or Max Packs. In a PvP, herO is terrifying. And GG, congratulations. Congratulations here, as he will take the series 3-0. And a shout out to NightMare for making it this far, for making it into the finals and making it past Cyan. And that is going to be wrapping up our first broadcast here of the day, our first of many. We're going to be live again in 2.5 hours. In 2.5 hours time, we're going to be live here on the channel with Grand Platypus Open. We should be featuring players like Hon Mono, Demi, Mia Nice, and many others as well. GPO, if you are unfamiliar, is a region-locked bi-weekly tournament. Region-locked for the region of Asia, EPT Asia, which excludes Korea. So China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Australia, India, Vietnam, Malaysia, for example, for a couple of those countries, Japan as well. So it is region locked to the region of Asia, and yeah, we do host the event on a bi-weekly basis. And yeah, we're going to be having one of our final GPOs of the year in 2.5 hours. So I'm tempted. I might nap for an hour. It sounds risky. I'll set all the alarms. I didn't get to sleep a lot today. I didn't get to sleep much, so I might try to nap for an hour, and then we'll just dive right back into it, right back into some casting, into Grand Platypus Open after GPO. In 4 hours after GPO. In how many hours from now? If you go to bed now, it's going to be in 6 hours and 40 minutes. In 6 hours and 40 minutes from this message, we're also going to be live with another tournament after GPO. It's going to be World Team League. The final day of the round robin stage of World Team League is tonight in just under 7 hours. So if you happen to be maybe situated in North America, I know it's really late in North America at the moment, so if you happen to be going to bed, maybe you can wake up in time for some WTL action. There you go. Or if you're in Europe and if you just woke up, then we got a day of StarCraft ahead of us. We still got plenty of StarCraft to come here, with KSL into GPO into WTL. Plenty of StarCraft. Now, also a bit of a PSA if you happen to be going to bed and if you aren't going to be a part of any of those broadcasts, is that we won't be live tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a day off. For the first time in a long time, a full day without any StarCraft. I mean, without casting StarCraft. Basically, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve here in Australia. and we don't have any events scheduled to broadcast, so we're going to be taking a day off from casting. I will be streaming. I very rarely get to stream on my personal channel. Hold on. Okay. I very rarely get to stream there on my personal channel, light_VIP on Twitch. But I should be there to cast. I should be there to ladder some StarCraft for the first time in a long time. Just because I usually don't ladder before a cast, and I cast every day. And I try not to ladder because it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of like mental energy as well to ladder and to play like hours of StarCraft. And you know, if I end up like in a, not even a losing streak, but if I end up like just with some really rough games, and like I don't want my mood to be affected, so I typically refrain from laddering before casting. So I just don't get a lot of time to ladder. So yeah, tomorrow we should be able to play some StarCraft. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. So you can follow me there if you're interested. Otherwise, have a happy holidays. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the new year as well. Tomorrow I think is going to be our only day off because we got a lot more casting to do. Something that was recently announced, Masters Coliseum. Masters Coliseum was announced a couple of days ago, and the qualifiers are starting Christmas Day from the 25th of December. Back to back to back. We have the Asia qualifier for Masters Coliseum. We have Americas, Europe, Korea. A lot of qualifiers are coming up, and next week on the 30th of December is the final Korean StarCraft League of the year. KSL, the final KSL. Next week is also the final GPO of the year as well. GPO 100. Oh my god. 100 Grand Platypus Opens. Let's go. So what I will say is that leading into the new year, into January, we will have more days off. We have a lot of events are going on hiatus, so we have a lot more days to ourselves in January, and we're going to try to take full advantage of that and just take a break, you know, just take some time off. And by that I really mean just like stream, basically just stream and ladder and play some other games and focus on building up our YouTube channel. Exclamation mark YouTube in the chat. We do upload on a daily basis on our YouTube, and we got plenty of StarCraft on a daily basis that is uploaded if you're interested. If you are interested. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys in 2.5 hours with GPO. See you then. See you then. Until then, though, hasta luego. Bye. Bye. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hasta luego.